Y'all back with another video. You know the vibes. So I was scrolling on TikTok and it's this very famous influencer creator. She's in the beauty industry. I'm not gonna put her name out there because that's her story to tell, but she made a comment, I guess, about life being hard for her being an influencer, and they have been going ham on this girl. I'm talking about the way she looks, even though she's been open about having self-esteem issues, talking about how she hates the way she looks, she doesn't like her body and stuff. And I'm talking about they have been going so ham on this girl about saying her life is hard, and it just made me want to do a video about mental health because I've struggled with it. Before I went to prison, I was not much of a sad person. I only knew how to be angry. That was the only emotion I had. And anger is a secondary emotion. Something happens first and then it triggers anger. But I was never taught how to identify the first thing I felt. I didn't know how to admit somebody disappointed me. I didn't know how to admit that I was offended. I didn't know how to admit that I was let down or I was sad or my hopes got up too high and somebody let me down. I didn't know how to admit those things. So everything I felt in those areas, it automatically went to anger. That was the only emotion that I was comfortable with feeling. Anything else, I felt like it made me too vulnerable. So I always went to anger. So I had a very bad anger issue, and it controlled me to the point where when I would get mad, it would be like something was rushing on the inside of me. It was like pressure running around. I could not sit still when I was angry. I could not sit in one place. I could not be quiet. It was like something was literally like the electricity on the inside of me was moving around, and it made me have to do something. I fought a whole lot. I fought all the time. And I had very bad anger issues where if I got mad, I used to punch dressers. I used to punch holes in walls. I used to throw chairs. I used to sling tables. Like, I was so angry. I remember one time I was so angry that I punched dents in my own car. Like, anger was really bad, but it was because that was the only emotion I allowed myself to feel. I felt like any other emotion, anything else that I would admit to, made me weak. It made me vulnerable. It made me susceptible to people feeling like they can use me and abuse me. So everything led to anger. So when I got locked up, now mind you, once I got to prison, you have a lot of time on your hands. I'm talking about too much time. Like, somebody please give me something to do. Please give me something to do. So much time on your hands. You have nothing that can block your mind. In the world, you have so many distractions. If you get bored, you can go hang out with a friend. If you get sad, you can listen to music. You can watch TV. Like, you can get in your car and you can go ride. You can go to your favorite restaurant and get you something to eat. You can go hang out with your friends. Like, any emotion you feel, you can find something to distract yourself in the free world. In prison, you cannot do that. You cannot run from those feelings, so you have no choice but to feel them. So I was put in a place for the first time in my life where I could not run, I could not mask, I could not self-medicate. I had to face those feelings, and I allowed myself to feel them because for so long I tried to run away from them, and it was like I always had like this ball in my chest or in my throat, and it was because I did not know how to identify what I was feeling. And over the years, I found ways, like, at first I could never admit to anyone. If somebody called me sensitive, I was ready to fight. Like, I am not sensitive. You are not going to call me sensitive. But now I can admit that in certain situations, I am sensitive. When someone lets me down, I hated to even admit that because I felt like it gave people power, like I was clingy or I was weak, or I'm not finna say they let me down. Like, I don't care if they didn't invite me, or I don't care if they didn't include me. And I never let myself feel those. But it took me understanding, and I've taken anger management multiple times. I've taken anger management so many times. I feel like I could teach an anger management class. Y'all want me to make one? Y'all can sign up. But taking those classes, it made me realize that anger is a secondary emotion. There are things that trigger you to get angry. So now I have no problem admitting if somebody let me down, or if I look forward to something and it doesn't happen, or if somebody offends me. I know those emotions come first, and you have to deal with those or they will turn into something. And the thing about anger, if you've ever had an anger issue, it controls you. whether you want to or not, because there were times I didn't want to be mad. I would just want to calm down, but I couldn't. And I fought a lot, and that was always my outlet. I had to hit something. I had to break something. And mental health, it is real. I ended up into a very deep depression because I stopped allowing myself to automatically go to anger. I couldn't do it anymore. It was literally, I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. Like my chest was always tight. So I had to allow myself to feel something other than anger. So I had to start addressing the resentment that I had, the bitterness that I had, you know what I'm saying? The lack of love and connections and how it affected me. And I tried to make it seem like, oh, I don't care, but I did. So I had to address those issues. And when I started addressing them, it was so many for so many years that I became depressed. I became depressed because I realized that I was sensitive. It did bother me when people treated me a certain type of way. It did bother me when they didn't consider me. It did bother me all those years when we went places and nobody thought about me, but I was like, I'll pay for everything. Or every time a friend called me, I went running, but nobody came for me. And I used to just be like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. That's just how I am. And it's not right. And it put me in a depression. And for years, I'm talking about, I was so low that I could not find value in anything. I could not muster the energy. Like I'm talking about something as simple as taking a shower took all of my energy. Something as simple as combing my hair, it took all my energy. It wore on me, and I used to cry, and I used to like just sit around and just be so sad for so long. So when I see people talk about issues that they have, I try not to judge them for them. Like if a person tells you that they have mental health issues, those are serious, because the thing about mental health issues is they're in your mind, and your mind goes everywhere you go. You can, I don't care what else it is in the world, any type of stronghold you have or any type of like addiction you have, you can get away from those. You go to prison, there's no drugs there. You can get away from those, even though addiction is also in your mind. But the point I'm trying to make is mental health is in your mind. You cannot get away from it. Your mind goes everywhere you go. And I just want to encourage you guys, if you know somebody who has mental health issues, or if you struggle from mental health issues, try to get help. Try to be there for them. Try to be slow to judge, even if you don't understand it or you feel like they shouldn't have mental health issues because they have all of these opportunities or they have all of this money. That doesn't mean anything if your mind is not right. If you need help, that doesn't mean anything, because when you're depressed and you have those issues, possessions don't make you feel better. It is a chemical imbalance. Possessions cannot make you feel better. No amount of money can get rid of depressions. No amount of money can just automatically wipe out a mental health issue. And it's like they are just really dragging this girl through the mud. And she's been so open and honest. And it's like, yeah, her job is lavish. She's an influencer. You know what I'm saying? She's very good at her job. I'm sure she makes a ton of money. She probably makes my salary at my job with one post. But that doesn't mean she doesn't have the right to have a mental health issue. I mean, that doesn't mean she doesn't have the right for it to be hard or for her to get on here and vent. Maybe she should find somebody else to vent to. Maybe she realized that her followers don't really fool with her the way that they fool with her. But mental health is issues are real. So if you are dealing with them, or you know somebody that's dealing with them, get you some help, baby. It's okay. It's okay. We all need help. It's okay. Y'all can reach out to me.